The 49ers report is sponsored today by Mint Mobile. They're changing the cell phone game with plans starting as low as $15 per month. If you want to start saving money today, you can do so by plugging in that link at the bottom of your screen, mintmobile.com/chatsports. What's also cool about Mint Mobile, unlimited talk and text, America's largest 5G network. You don't have to change your cell phone number or get a new physical phone. And because they have these digital eSIM cards that they will mail to you, you don't have to go to a store, so you don't have to waste your time. One more time, mintmobile.com/chatsports. I'll put that link in the comment section and the description of this video. We kick off this mailbag with this one coming in from Hitman L to $2 Super Chat. Thank you so much for your donation, my brother. Lock it in. Trey Lance going to have 4,500 passing yards and win MVP this year. If Lance goes on to have a debut starting season and he throws for 4,500 yards, he'll be in the MVP conversation. I'm hoping that Lance throws for, let's say, 3,500 to 4,000 yards and ideally 27 passing touchdowns to like 10 interceptions. That's my ideal debut season for Lance, because I don't know if he's going to have to do all that much or if he's going to have a bunch on his plate, nor do I think he needs to, because the rest of this roster is really built up. But Hitman L, he goes on to have a season like that, San Francisco's going to be in a great position. Julian Rost, certainly a real one. Chase, who replaces Hurst? Robert Nkemdiche? He's really the most notable name to replace Hurst. Not too many concerns about Eric Armstead's knee injury. He is expected to be okay. Just kind of hurt his knee a little bit during practice last week. He's just sitting out for maybe a couple of weeks. But Nkemdiche is really the big name who could replace Mo Hurst along that defensive line. They did sign Hassan Ridgeway. They could also do what they did a lot of last year and run that NASCAR package where they take edge rushers and move them to the inside. Arnke did that. Eric Armstead did that. Charles Ameni, who is a candidate to kind of occupy that role. Same can be said for Jordan Willis. If Javon Kinlaw has a great year, then we're really not having many concerns about that defensive tackle position. So those are guys who could replace Hurst and then help fill the void of him going out again. And it's unfortunate for him. Had a really good preseason last year, battled that calf injury, and then this year he tears his biceps. Christian Zulowiski with this question: who is going to be the number 3 wide receiver behind Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, not including the tight ends? It's a little bit of a competition right now, but I think at the end of the day, and once training camp concludes, it's going to be Jawan Jennings' job. And I like the size that he gives you operating out of the slot at about 6'3". He really emerged last year, especially toward the tail end of the regular season into the playoffs, as a really good security blanket for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think he's a good weapon to have in that sense for Trey Lance, a possession wide receiver, a chain mover who gives you good size coming out of the slot, where you can get some favorable matchups going up against a shorter DB, maybe even a slower linebacker, contested catch guy. He was so good on 3rd and 4th downs last year. So I think it's going to be his job to lose. Other guys in the mix, Danny Gray, who did have a good practice for the first time on Tuesday, and then Ray McLeod. But I think Ray's a little bit more of a gadget guy, and then Danny Gray might not be ready to play. My guess, Jawan Jennings. Speaking of Trey Lance, where do you think he will rank among all quarterbacks in 2022? Fill in the blank for me and let me know. Ryan Payne, who do you think is winning a fight, Fred Warner or Brandon Ayuk? That question coming in because during Tuesday's practice session, Fred Warner and Brandon Ayuk did get into a little bit of a fight. Now, this all stemmed and stems from Fred Warner continuing to challenge Brandon Ayuk throughout this offseason. He was asked why he continues to kind of pester Brandon Ayuk. He said, I think that he's on the verge of becoming a great player and he's about to break out. And I like that iron sharpens iron type of mentality. But who would win in a fight? I'm going Fred Warner. He's a defensive player. To be a middle linebacker, you just have to be wired a little bit differently in between the ears. That's not to take anything away from Brandon Ayuk. But Fred Warner is Fred Warner, and he's an all-time dog and really, really physical. Mayday 49, do you feel that Russell Wilson will be rejuvenated with the Broncos and once again be a pain for the 49ers? That's going to be a really critical game in the first month of the season as San Francisco goes on the road to the Mile High City to once again take on Russell Wilson. And throughout his entire career, since he came into the league, since being a third-round pick back in 2012, he has dominated San Francisco. Is that going to continue, even though he's rocking a different jersey? Hopefully not. I mean, Russell Wilson, in my opinion, he's like a top 5 quarterback. So he has a really good complementary cast. It looks as though Tim Patrick going to be lost for the year. Producer Coop, is that official with that torn ACL? So Tim Patrick, a really good weapon for Russell Wilson, but he still has Cortland Sutton. He has Jerry Jeudy, Albert Okwe-Abanam, a really good run game led by Javonte Williams. The offensive line, a little bit of a concern, but the defense is really good too. I really don't expect San Francisco to go on the road to beat the Broncos. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm right, the Russell Wilson dominance will continue. Hitman L, $10 super chat coming in. Our boys are signed. The drama is gone. Let's enjoy the show. All-Pro Fred, All-Pro Debo, All-Pro Williams, All-Pro Snub Bosa, over-the-middle Kittle. Defense is going to be scary. It's trade day now. And it's important for San Francisco to get these deals done. And this is why you subscribe to the channel. I told you all along, I thought Debo was going to come back to the Niners, and I had mentioned to you, and we continued to look at that graphic of when these contract extensions had happened for the Niners. George Kittle, Fred Warner, Debo Samuel, all within a couple of weeks' range, either in July or August, as to when they got those contracts. So when we approach this same point next year with Nick Bosa, and a deal isn't done in mid-July, let's not start talking about some trade rumors of Nick Bosa, of him getting sent somewhere, or talk about him leaving this team and being disgruntled. The way that the Niners do business historically is they get these deals done in July and August. And these contractual disagreements have happened before. It happened with Jerry Rice back in the day. With previous ownership, it happens because this is a business at the end of the day. Hitman Al with the $10 super chat, bringing the best energy so far of the show. What do you think of that Debo contract, though? I want you to just give me your honest thoughts on it. P for pricey, B for bargain. I'm going to type my B for bargain. I think it's a really discounted rate to have Debo Samuel under $24 million when a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's more of just a speed threat, is making $30 million. Devontae Adams at 28. You get Debo less than 24. Also, if the injuries continue to rear its ugly head and he does get hurt, it's only a 3-year extension. So you don't have a bunch of money backloaded onto the deal that prohibits you in the future. And in a couple of years, as the salary cap continues to go up year after year, this deal will actually be a pretty good discounted rate for Debo if he continues to play like he did last year. And the incentivized language in the contracts also points to something interesting, that he might be used a little bit in the run game as well. Today's show sponsored by Mint Mobile, America's largest 5G network, unlimited talk and text, high-speed data. You get a mobile hotspot, all for $15 per month. You may have heard of them before. It's a cell phone company owned by the famous actor Ryan Reynolds. And for a long time, I was on my family plan with my dad, my sister, my stepmom. I told my pops, I got to start saving money during this period of inflation when everything is expensive, especially airlines and everything in general. I'm looking to cut costs, Dad. And I said, I got to get off the family plan. So I made the switch to Mint Mobile because $15 as compared to $100 per month without changing my cell phone number. Let's face it, I'm a popular guy. I don't want to lose my contacts, and I don't want people thinking that they're hitting me up and hitting up some random person somewhere. All the benefits of Mint Mobile. Head to mintmobile.com/chatsports. Start saving money today. I know a lot of our subscribers have made the switch. They've commented in the comment section. They have no regrets. Jamie Bryant, Chase. Will Kyle have a decent game plan for Trey? Nothing too crazy for him to get his confidence up and play Niner football, or throw everything at him to see what he's got? I think Lance wasn't ready for that first start against the Cardinals, which is why you saw so many design quarterback runs. If Kyle Shanahan is smart, and I believe he's a very smart head coach, he's going to ease Trey Lance in. And he has the luxury of doing that because of how this roster is built, how this roster is put together. Really good skill position players and an excellent defense where Lance does not have to throw the football 30 to 50 times per game. If you keep him at that 20 to 30 range, like Jimmy Garoppolo throughout his career, especially back in 2019, and you rely on a really good ground game and a really good defense, you're going to allow Trey Lance to get his feet wet, his feet underneath him, the confidence moving. He's going to learn what the quarterback position is like. And then bit by bit, you start taking the training wheels off, and I think that's the best path for success for Trey Lance. And you get that ground game going, that's what opens up that play action. And so far throughout training camp, Lance, he's been dropping dimes on those deep balls. Wheezy Arlo, if it's Wheezy after Lil Wayne, good choice by you. One of the best rappers of all time. In that 2010 range, my goodness, Lil Wayne was phenomenal and probably the best rapper at that time. If it's just Wheezy because it's Arlo, all good, homie. Do you think Kittle will have a 2019 season this year? Maybe. And I'm not too concerned about, like, if Deebo Samuel gets 1,000 yards or Brandon Ayuk gets 1,000 yards or Kittle gets 1,000 yards. I care about winning games. I care about a functional offense. Kyle Shanahan is going to want to run the football a lot because that's what the backbone of this offense is. So if Kittle doesn't have a 2019 season, that's okay. Last year he had more than 800 yards, and throughout that stretch, especially that game against the Bengals and a couple of games before that and after that, he legitimately was the best tight end in the NFL. He's been voted the best tight end in the NFL by that ESPN poll. If he doesn't have 1,000 yards, it doesn't mean he's not the best tight end. Now that Gronk is out of the league, George Kittle is the most well-rounded, most diverse, and best all-around tight end in the National Football League. BK from the Bay, last question in this mailbag. Chase, where do you think that Jimmy's next team will be? Man, I could see it being the Seattle Seahawks. If they just decide to wait until Garoppolo is released and then they're able to get him for free, I could see that happening. I could see an injury somewhere else happening at the quarterback position where a playoff-ready team is ready to make a trade. Now, I'm not sure what those injuries are going to be and where they might take place, of course, because I'm not a genie, although sometimes I think my analysis looking into the future is pretty damn good. But let's say that Tua struggles, Miami. Let's say that Mac Jones gets injured or he struggles. Could the Patriots trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? Because we know Belichick is always trying to win. Houston, I think, is always a viable spot. New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston. They're a really expensive roster. Cleveland Browns, if Jacoby Brissett gets injured. It looks as though up to this point they're fine with Brissett, but if they want to move off of him or if he gets injured and he's not playing well, Garoppolo makes a lot of sense to help you survive 6 games without Deshaun Watson after that suspension. So those are the types of destinations that I see potentially for Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, before we hop on out of here for this mailbag, appreciate all of your questions, appreciate all of your super chats. If you're subscribed to the channel, the largest 49ers news and rumors channel on YouTube, north of 60,000 subs, as our content continues to ramp up in the lead up to the preseason and regular season with training camp here. I want you to type real one in the comment section if you're a loyal subscriber, because we here at Chat Sports, me here on the 49ers Report, greatly appreciate you.